morning, welcome back to a new video. For this week's video, I'm actually going to be swapping a 5-star read with Lacey. So I'll be giving her a 5-star read of mine that I really enjoyed, that I think she might enjoy, and she's going to do the same for me. So it should be interesting because she's more, I'd say, romance heavy, whereas I read books with romance, but that's not really the main plot. So she loves fantasy, I love fantasy obviously, but I would say I definitely read more fantasy than she does, I would think. A lot more of her fantasy books are more romance heavy, like I said, whereas mine don't really revolve so much around that. I love thrillers, I don't really know if she reads that many. True crime, things like that. So we're gonna swap and see. So this should be interesting. I'm excited to see what she picks for me, and I hope she enjoys what I pick for her. So we're going to exchange our books now. I've already told them what we're doing. Do you want to go first? It should be interesting because I said you're more, I like romance as a subplot, but you're more,
I'll read anything.
yeah, but you do a lot of the time have books with more romance.
Yeah. What do you think I'm going to give you? Any
A
guesses?
romance.
Like any guesses on what it will be?
I was thinking funny story, but I don't know.
Okay, close your eyes. Okay. I was tossing up between Funny Story, 7 Year Slip, and this. I feel like this is a safe bet because you've already read it, Abby Jimenez book, and really liked it.
Yeah.
And I know you want to read this one too.
Yes, I do. And it's not that long, so, well, it might be because I don't really. Okay. What do you think mine will be?
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Is it in a series?
No.
Oh.
I don't want to give you one in a series in case
I
you
don't
really
know
liked
what
it.
you have that's
Okay.
not in a series. Oh my god, I'm scared.
Okay, so here's my thought. I just finished this literally yesterday, but I loved it. Like, I really, really, really liked it. It's a very...
What'd you give it?
A 5.
A 5.
It's really easy, and I think you really like the main guy.
Okay. Is it YA or not?
Probably.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like it.
So give it a shot.
And it's not that deep.
I think you like this too because the main guy is a good representation of like anxiety and stuff, and he's the shy one.
But... Well, we'll give our updates. You can video on your phone when you're reading it, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to start reading Wings of Starlight. I have no clue what this book is about. Alex said it's like a Tinkerbell prequel or something like that. I never heard of it until she picked it up, and I'm intrigued to see what I think.
As you would have seen, Lacey has chosen for me to read Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, which I've heard amazing things about this. I've actually have it on my want to read list, and I have for a while. And I love Abby Jimenez's writing. I've only read one of her books, but I read Just for the Summer. But I absolutely adored that book. That's my favourite romance book I've ever read. I wish all romance books were like that. So I am very excited to read this and see how it goes. Give you my thoughts as it goes on, as will Lacey. So I'll just start this now and see how far I get through it today.
Yesterday I started reading Wings of Starlight. For some reason I can't remember the title. And I'm about 60 pages in currently, and I'm only just starting to really get into it. I don't really have many opinions on it yet. All I can really say is it feels very magical and takes you back to when you're a kid, like watching Tinkerbell. So I'm going to continue reading some more of this today.
I thought I would give an update on how I'm feeling about this book so far. So I have had this book on my want to read list for quite some time, and I initially put it on there because I really love Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and that was the first romance book I was like, yep, this is amazing. Like, I get the hype around romance books, and I just know she's a very good author, so I like looked up a few other of her books, and this one definitely stood out to me because it's got a big emphasis around anxiety, and I'm a very anxious individual, so I was really excited to read a book where one of the main characters has anxiety and is a very anxious individual. I'm really loving that aspect of the book because I feel like I connect a lot to how he's feeling in certain like social situations specifically, and I'm reading, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's how I act when I'm anxious. So I love reading that, and yeah, I just really like the characters. I love the storyline. It's very easy to follow. So I wouldn't say it's like, it's obviously like, you kind of know what's going to happen because it's like a romance. So romances are generally all the time quite predictable. So obviously in the back of your mind, you kind of like you know what's going to happen, like, oh, they end up together, blah, blah, blah. But in this, I wouldn't say the storyline is typical romance. Like, it's very different. And once again, the anxiety representation is very good, and I appreciate reading a book with it. Because I often just read books with, like, other mental health issues, but I haven't actually read one with anxiety. So I'm really enjoying it. Love the characters. The main guy, yeah, like I said, very relatable. Love him too. And I hope it continues on this wavelength, because at this point I'm really understanding why it's Lacey's 5-star read. Right now I'm 185 pages in, and it's 387. So I'm gonna do some reading now and see how much I get done, and then yeah, I'll give you another update later in this vlog.
Of Starlight in a couple of days. I'm pretty slack, honestly, with giving my opinions and everything, but I'm currently 277 pages in. I'm hoping to finish it today because I have about 120 pages left, something like that. My thoughts right now are that I feel like I would have really enjoyed this a lot more if I was younger. That's not to say that I'm not enjoying it, but some bits I find myself getting a bit lost, purely because I don't think I'm immersed enough in the story. But I do like the two main characters, so we'll see how I feel at the end. I'll probably just give an update when I finished it, but yeah.
You're gonna start dancing, yeah. Okay, well, we're gonna give you our thoughts, and then we're gonna give you our ratings. So we've obviously both rated these 5-star, but I would say we have like similar but different tastes in books.
I agree.
Like, we have rated a lot of the same books 5-star, but we've also had very different ratings for particularly romance.
Yeah.
Don't offend me too much.
Okay. Reading this was like very nostalgic to watching like Tinkerbell as a kid, and I really enjoyed the magical aspects throughout the book. I just didn't find myself like feeling immersed in it. Like, when I'd put it down, I wasn't like eager to keep reading it. Overall, I really like the main female character and main male character, and I think how the book came together at the end made a lot of sense, and it didn't really leave anything unsaid.
The ending was sad.
Did you cry?
No, I was like,
everybody's shaking you, by the way. Overall, I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. I understand how it could be a 5-star for somebody.
Like I said, I think I read it at the right time. Like, I was in a book slump, and then I read it.
Yeah, I feel like if I read it like 5 or more years ago, I would have enjoyed it more. No.
Well, I'm a
But
child.
reading's subjective for a reason. Okay.
So what do you rate it?
Oh, you want me to do 3.25. Because I feel like it wasn't quite a 3.5.
Okay, my turn. I love this book, and I felt like, because it's got the, like I said in previous clips, the main representation is of anxiety, which I'm a very anxious individual. And I've never read a book with that as a mental health issue. And I really love the main guy, and every time he was saying something, I was like, oh my god, you are me. And I liked her and him together, and it was just I always find, well, I've only read her other book, but like, she has a very easy way of writing. Her writing is very easy to follow, and I loved all the characters, and I liked how it wrapped up as well. It was very sweet how it ended. Yeah, it had a really good representation of love, I feel like, and it wasn't like I wouldn't say it's as similar to some romance books I've read, which I liked. I rated it a 5.
I knew you would, just so I gave it to you for other books.
So yes.
Just gotta read the first book in the series, and you read it backwards, but you were just...
It's a series?
Interconnect.
So it doesn't really matter.
That's the third.
No.
It's just because it has the same characters in the world. Not because you have to read them. It doesn't matter though.
No. 5 and a 3.25. Clearly I have better taste. Now we are going to be doing another book, but this time we're going to be giving a book to each other that we didn't rate that highly.
So
Actually, you need to see what I rated mine.
3.5 or below or 3 or below?
A 3.5 and below.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm giving Lacey The Locked Door by Freda McFadden, which you haven't read any thrillers.
No.
She has never read a thriller, and I thought, well, Freda McFadden is obviously the thriller queen. And I rated this as 3.5, and it was one of my least favourite out of the ones I've read. I think I've read like 5 or 6 of her books now, so this was probably my least favourite. But I think it would be easy to read. It's only 306 pages.
Not that easy. So, okay, you're gonna...
They're really short.
No! Should I change decision?
Here we go.
Okay, this book was a 3-star for me, but it was like, I was feeling generous. It's Lessons in Chemistry, which is a general fiction book. The only general fiction book Alex has read, she didn't really like it that much. I think a positive I have about this book is it is a good representation of what women had to go through back in the 60s.
I do want to read this, but I don't actually.
It's like not a super long book, but it feels kind of like heavy to get through. Like, not the topics, just like you're sitting there going, oh, okay. And the writing is
I think
tiny.
I will change the book I gave you.
No, you can't change it. And the writing's kind of small.
Yay, I'm so excited to read. It should be really interesting.
I'm intrigued.
I'm not.
I'm going to start The Locked Door by Freda McFadden. I have no idea what this book is about. I know it's a thriller, that's it. I've never read a thriller before, so I'm intrigued to see if I'll enjoy it. It's also my first Freda McFadden book, so it will open me up to a new author maybe. And I'll give an update once I've read a little bit and have a bit of an opinion about the book, I
I would come on here and give you an update on how I'm going with Lessons in Chemistry. Now obviously we've given each other lower rating books, so I think Lacey rated this like a 3 or a 3.5, so obviously it's not like the worst, but it could definitely be better. And at this point in time, it's definitely not going to be a high rating for me. And like, I'm 132 pages in, and I'm really not enjoying myself, to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's parts where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm really, like, this is interesting and I enjoy reading about this, but then there's certain other points I'm just like, I'm so incredibly bored, like, I just don't want to read it. And you're probably like, how, if you're so bored, how have you read like that much already? because I probably will be up to like around page 200 by the end of this day. So you're probably like, how are you reading so much if it's so boring? Honestly, I just want to finish it. So I'm trying to read it as quick as I can so I can just finish it. But I think it's like classified as like general fiction. So whatever that means really. But I just know from past experience, I don't really enjoy general fiction. So I could see why people would enjoy it. But I can also see why a lot of people would find it quite boring and not really interested. I will say though, I like the aspect of like Elizabeth is like, why can't women be in these kind of fields, like chemistry and stuff, which I like that aspect. So yeah, they're my thoughts. I'll update you when I'm a bit further through.
And some of my opinions so far on the locked door. I'm about halfway through, so about 150 or so pages into the book. And the only way I can really describe it is it's kind of like watching an episode of like Criminal Minds or something like that, and you just can't look away. And because a lot of the chapters are so short, you just keep flipping through the pages, and I feel like it's just going to be, and it has been so far, just a quick, easy read, and you just keep flipping through the pages and you don't want to kind of stop. I'm enjoying it, and I feel like where I am in the book so far, some stuff is about to start unraveling. So I'm going to read some more of this and maybe give an update further through or once I've finished it. The Lockjaw by Freddie McFadden, and I ended up quite enjoying it. I didn't really have any expectations going into the book because I had never heard of it and I had never read any reviews or anything about it. So I think it was good that I ended up going in sort of blind without any preconceived theories or notions about the book itself. And it is literally like watching an episode of Criminal Minds, which is probably why I liked it. And if you like any shows like that, I would recommend reading it. So I think I would see myself reading more Freddie McFadden books or just more thrillers in general, but I will wait to give my final rating until me and Alex are back together and we'll go on together.
We've both finished our books. Lacey finished hers, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
And I finished mine this morning. I definitely could have finished it sooner, but I was lazy. So let's give our thoughts. I originally rated this a 3.5.
Okay.
So what's your thoughts and what's your rating?
I liked it. I think anyone who likes Criminal Minds or any show like that would like it.
I think she's
some capacity.
A very good thriller author, specifically to start with.
Yeah.
Even if you only read her, but specifically to start with.
I want to read more of her books, but also I would just consider reading more thriller in general. Wasn't my favourite book I've ever read, but I did like it. I gave it a 4-star.
That's good. Wow. It's more than the 5-star rating. I mean, it was something new at least.
Yeah.
And
it was a quick, easy read.
And now you like thriller.
If I ever want like a filler book or anything, I would.
Yeah, they're good thriller books. They are good thriller books, but they're good thriller books. I always like to read them if I don't know what to read. My thoughts. So was this general fiction?
Yeah. Or women's fiction.
What was your rating?
A 3, but that was like a generous 3. Like I was feeling nice on that day.
My thoughts. I liked the concept of this book, how it was like centered around women not having, like they shouldn't be like hidden in their home, and they don't have rights, and like if you're not married you can't have children, and all this stuff. And I liked how she was like going against the stereotypes and stuff like that. I just found myself quite bored
Yeah,
a lot of
I
the time.
agree.
Some chapters I was like, okay,
really
yeah, I'm
immersed.
really interested in this. But then other chapters I was like, oh my god. Like, there was so, towards the end, there was so many chapters. So she, like, gets her own TV show. It's a TV show, right? Yeah. And she's, like, doing chemical, what's it called? Experiments, but with food. So it's, like, basically her just cooking food, but in a chemical way. I don't know how to explain it. Anyway. And
She's a chemist.
Yeah.
That's why.
There was so many of those chapters that I got to the point where I was like, okay, that's enough. I did really enjoy some parts, and I liked how it wrapped up.
At least it was a book that you wanted to read. You've read it now.
Yeah, I liked how it wrapped up. I'm not sure I'll be running to read another general fiction book.
I don't think general fiction is for you.
I don't think so.
Because I feel like it's a hit or miss genre for me, but I don't think it's for you.
So, my rating. Okay, between two.
Okay.
Not really. I think I'm being generous with one and one's not. Okay. 2.5.
Okay.
I was like,
I feel like if I read it now, I'd probably lower it, but I said,
I think it made me feel better because I looked at the reviews on Fable and it has like a 4 point something average, and I was like, oh fuck. And then I read the reviews and there were some people rated like a 1 and a 2, and I was like,
I feel like it is a very hit or miss book for a lot of people because some people rate it.
I feel like if I read this in a different, like maybe in the future if I read this again, I'd appreciate it more, I feel like. But,
well, would you do this again?
yes, I would. Maybe we'll have to do it down the line.
Maybe.
See.
Sometimes it's nice someone else to pick your books.
I know, who knows, we could be reading a completely different genre. Maybe you'll be reading all the thrillers and I'll be reading romance.
I don't think so.
It's also good to read books I wouldn't normally read. Like, you helped me realise I don't like general fiction, and helped you realise you like thriller.
And I think we like different kind of fantasy.
And that's fine. Well, I wouldn't say that's the general kind of fantasy book I read. Like, it's very different to Throne of Glass and stuff.
Anyway,
that is the end of our video.
I'm about the time now.
Hope you enjoyed, and maybe Lacey will be in another video soon.
If she's lucky.
If I'm lucky enough. Bye.